everybody, Tim here at Doc's Autos, and we have been working on the 2012 X3 quite a bit. Haven't recorded as much as we wanted to, had some stuff going on like, had a baby and everything. But here's kind of a recap of what we've done. Recently, went ahead and did a quick cleanup of the engine bay here. Nothing too severe right now, but just kind of got some of the road grime out of it and got her cleaned up. So it does look pretty nice and new. Again, a recap that we did get the front end back on here, the new intake cowl, new crash bar is in and ready to go. We're working on the bumper quite a bit too. There were a bunch of minor dings and protrusions in the plastic. With just a little bit of work from the propane torch, heated that up lightly and pushed those back into place. And the big part is that here we had a big ding in the bumper, plastic bumper here, and I've gone ahead and filled that back in with a little bit of Bondo and the paint from Automotive Touch-Ups. You can check out the link below for those details. If you remember, the biggest damage here was this large cut in the bumper cover, and we went ahead and filled that back in with some filler, some Bondo bumper filler, and then I went ahead again with the Automotive Touch-Ups paint and put that on there with the 2K clear as well. Now I've got a little more blending to do here with the paint, and I think just a little bit between 7 years of paint fade, and I think I put on one coat too many of the base coat. It did get just a hair darker, but otherwise bumper is getting cleaned up and back together. And our next thing we'll be doing here today is going ahead and getting this thing waxed up. Now, I'm not going to show you that entire process, but we'll probably do a before and after here on the hood side by side. And of course, we'll be using the great line of products, both from Meguiar's for some of the cutting, and also the line of ammo products for wax and finish. And once we're done here with the couple pieces on the front here, go ahead and put the grill and the bumper cover back on, and then we can finish with the detailing inside. But I figure as long as the bumper's off, quarter panels are free, I'm going to go and work on all the little nooks and crannies that are relatively difficult otherwise when everything's all put together. So you can see here, also I forgot to mention, we did get a new set of these headlight washer covers, and that paint actually did match up pretty perfectly. BMW OEM or OE quality parts, and then just that Automotive Touch-Ups paint. And if you recall, our last item here was the front headlight, which is upside down for you, but this was all broken out, and I did manage to patch it back in, plastic welding with some just simple poly from Menards, and that worked very well to get everything tucked back in and sealed. Two little holes here I filled with some silicone, but otherwise this will be weather resistant and able to be used without having to replace the whole light assembly, as well with all the rest of the correction here and repair for the tabs that had broken off. So we'll get that put back in as well, and then our front end should be good to go. I spent quite a bit of time getting this front little headlight insert adjusted back, a little bit of bending here, some paint chips we touched up, as well as getting the body line set up correctly again and lined up with the hood. So we'll go ahead and start doing our finishing, and we will check back with you in a bit. Mainly a lot of the detail and finishing work. So you can see we've got the other driver's side headlight in. Quarter panel is more or less repaired. Body line is pretty clean. I'll do a little final adjustment with the bumper on there. Otherwise, we've gone through a multi-step process for washing and waxing. We have not touched the inside yet. Brought back a bunch of just color and some of the deep richness to this kind of metallic red on the X3 here. And you can look here in the side-by-side comparison. The passenger side was untouched, and the driver's side was hit with the, of course, the ammo foam for washing. Then the Meguiar's 100 cutting compound. Then I hit it with the number 9, I believe. Let's see, look on our box of goodies here. All of our goodies, look at that. Yep, the Miraglaze number 9. And then we hit it with the Ammo Reflex Foundation. And then the last coat is the Ammo Skin. So we're gonna apply that to the rest of the vehicle here. And I did get a little overboard, masked off all the black stuff, just so I'm not getting the wax on the black trim and door jambs and whatnot. And I also hit the Ammo Plum to clear up the tires. At least the outside, all the brake dust and grime is gone. I do need to actually take all the tires off the vehicle and give a deep cleaning from the backside, just because they are kind of filthy. And there's your good old German short hair. And a little wiener dog. So we are going to go ahead and put the last coat of ammo on the rest of the vehicle here, get all the tape off, and then work on getting our bumper on. Now, we've got everything put back together on the inside here, all of our hose for the windshield, for the headlight washers, all of our wiring, got everything buttoned up in here, and we'll go ahead and put that on as well very soon here. So a little more time, probably got, I don't know, 8-9 hours of detailing on the wax by the time it's all said and done. So hopefully it'll look really nice when we're all done. Be back soon. Hey everybody, we are back and we have the X3 back together. So a little bit of adjustment to do on headlights and whatnot, but otherwise the front end is back on. Pardon my voice, it seems to have disappeared somewhere, but otherwise bumper's back on, went on pretty well. Headlights are good, all the trim, everything else put back in place just like it should. And big dent, big cut in the front bumper is nearly invisible, short of a little bit of paint fade difference. So we are going to finally get this out on the road and give her a test drive. So more to come shortly. Hey everybody, we are out for a ride in the X3. It has been on the road for a little while now. Had a chance to give it a little bit of a shakedown, and I really have no complaints about this vehicle. It runs and drives beautifully. It is smooth, quiet, not much road noise. The shifting, the 8-speed transmission in here is phenomenal. A little bit of a comparison from the 07 X3, we've got the Sport Edition, which has a little punchier shifting on it. This one here is much more smooth. Again, with the 8 speeds, travels around 1,800 to 2,000 RPMs at highway speeds. So it just runs beautifully. We got all of the front end reassembled, and the screen for the air intake did finally arrive, and we were able to put that on without much difficulty. I was able to pull the front top of the bumper cover back a little bit where it meets the core support, and remove one of those little chrome kidney grills, and then the insert just tucked right in, and everything snapped back in just fine. So that was very easy to put in. And so the interior here is excellent. It does have the 9-inch screen here for navigation and information. The dash is very easy to read. Cruise control, the jog wheel for all the systems. You know, some folks complain about the jog wheel for navigating throughout the computer system, not having a touch screen. But again, just like anything else, once you become familiar with it, it's not that big of a deal. Sure, are there other more user-friendly systems with touchscreens? There are. Have I used worse systems? I sure have. This is, I think, a great display. The aesthetics are nice. The functionality is pretty good. And the fact that I was able to drop my iPod into the plug-in with a little bit of an adaptation from the footprint for an iPhone 4 was phenomenal. So I don't have to use a USB dongle anymore. Just plugs right onto the factory connector in the vehicle. We did go through, updated all the navigation stuff, the maps, the iDrive system, so all the software in the car we can get to is up to date, which is awesome. The maps have not been updated since 2012 when the vehicle was purchased, so I'm kind of happy about that. Otherwise, the adaptive headlights, those work phenomenally. I was very impressed that those were not damaged in the collision, the last collision. So we got those in. They all function left, right, they auto level, and just a slight bit of correction on the passenger side. Really, for what you've got into the vehicle, far less than you would purchase it for from a dealer or even on the used private market. So we will be holding on to this one as our daily driver for a family vehicle. Oh, we are out here in the middle of harvest season and need to be aware of all the traffic from combines, grain carts, semis. We're nearing the end of the season, but it is still very busy due to our horrible summer we've had in spring and fall. So, as I mentioned earlier on, inside the interior of the vehicle is very clean. I did go through, ran through the whole vehicle, cleaned it out, detailed it out. Not as thorough as I could have, but it is getting to be winter here. I know the car will get dirty, so I just make sure we took care of any stains or any big icky spots. Cleaned the carpets, did the windows, all the surfaces, whatnot, but it is very clean. Audio system in this vehicle is awesome. Granted, you know, I've had vehicles with better audio, but I've also put that in myself. So out of the gate, factory audio in here is great. The only thing I find missing really is there's no controls for next or previous song or pause or anything mute on the steering wheel. Other vehicles I've driven do have that, but again, we are working with a little smaller steering wheel here, and it's not overly cluttered, so I guess I can get by with that. You do have the options on the jog wheel, or of course the dashboard also has a forward and back button. So the climate control in here is very nice. It is dual zone, 3-stage heated seats. You can alter the seat temperatures if you do have something to coat it with, like Carly, for example. I do have the option to set the temperature ranges for the front seats. This vehicle does not have the heated back seats or individual climate control, other than just the vents on and off. Other additions, especially the X5s that I've looked at in the past, have rear climate control, but again, those are just different feature packages. I'm getting roughly about 25.5 miles to the gallon with my normal driving. Part of that's going to be back roads going about 55 or 60, and the other part of that is on a freeway doing 65 or 70. So I know that book values for these are around 22 to 23 miles an hour average. And I'm finding a little bit higher than that. Of course, I also am running 89 octane in here, and I do drive, I would say, pretty conservatively. I'm not one to stomp on either the gas or the brake. I don't have anything to prove, and I would kind of like this vehicle to last for a while. And also, coming from driving a 1-ton dually as my former daily driver, there's really no get up and go quickly with anything there. So I guess I'm just not one to stomp heavy on the gas and just spew it out the exhaust pipe. So again, you know, 25, 26 miles to the gallon average, which I think is phenomenal. That was one of my goals for a replacement daily driver, was to find something in that mid-20s range. Certainly better than the pickup, which got about 12 to 13 miles to the gallon on diesel. Again, here's a shot of the interior and the dash. We've got our computer over here, which you can flip through all your different items: miles per gallon, range, average, date, time, whatever. And if you are using the nav system, you will actually have your directions up here, which is nice, as well as over here. You'll see your location on the map. Otherwise, the interior here, climate control, radio. If you have your preset stored for your phone, if you hover over any of these values, they will actually go ahead and display up here in the screen. So you can see if you have them signed. I don't have any of these set up, but the ones that you do have assigned, they'll show up, so give you a preview so you're not having to scroll through your frequently used numbers. So that's one nice safety feature, I think. Otherwise, you've got your shifter here. It is all electronic. Some people, again, more or less like that or don't like that. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but overall it's pretty user-friendly. Again, you've got your traction control, your hill descent, park assist, auto hill hold, so if you're stopped on a hill for a long time, and of course your electric parking brake. You have the automatic or sport mode for shifting through that 8-speed transmission. Both seem to work great. I've seen better, I've seen worse implementation. So for my general driving, it's just over here in auto. And then again, that jog wheel with all of your options here. The only thing that I think I'm finding missing is, for me personally, I don't use the radio a whole lot, so being able to possibly remap one of these buttons to a different input versus just the CD or radio would be very helpful. Otherwise, very easy to use. I know that the third gen BMWs, this jog wheel actually has support for touch input, so you can write in the names you're looking for or addresses you want to go to for navigation. So again, very user friendly for now, and it just keeps getting better, I find, with newer versions. So that's about all on the interior here. Kind of a quick once around. Back is pretty spacious. Again, one of the big selling features for me here is that giant sunroof. So it is pretty awesome to have almost the entire roof be open, and plenty of room for a couple of child seats in the back. It is a little cramped for a larger person, taller person in the front seat. Otherwise, that's the only downfall I see with the space interior wise is child seats, especially with rear facing child seats. So if you are over 6 feet and do like your seat back and reclined quite a ways, this one might be a little bit of a tight squeeze for you, but otherwise I find it overall to be a very good car. So trying to go for a quick walk around the outside here. Is a little dirty, of course, daily driving, but you see the front end is back on the vehicle. It does look pretty good. Overall does run pretty nice. Headlights, of course, is xenons with the halos. Did clean up pretty well, I think. On diesel. So otherwise, that's about it for right now. We will find you on the next video, a little wrap up, and then on to more projects. So if you like this, go ahead and click like and subscribe below and tell your friends. And if you hated it, well, go ahead and mock me. But I have hit the dirt road and just about home. So thanks for watching, and catch you soon.